Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be covering the rest of the week that was in pro wrestling. That's WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Really mixed bag of a show. Couple of shows, but we'll get into it as we start off with WWE SmackDown. And we get the video recap of the AJ Styles fake retirement from the week prior, him attacking Cody Rhodes. We then cut to Cody Rhodes. He's seething in the back. He's in the car park. He's waiting for AJ. We then get to the induction ceremony for Tama Tonga into the Bloodline. We see Solo, we see Tama Tonga, we see Tonga Loa, see Paul Heyman. We start with Paul Heyman explaining that until Roman Reigns comes back, the new head of the table is Solo Sikoa. Which, that's fine. And then by Solo's decree, the new right hand of the head of the table is Tama Tonga. And then they induct Tonga Loa officially into the Bloodline. So that's that's definitely interesting. So then Solo gets on the mic, says, "Are you forgetting something?" Something that we were here for. You need to thank both these guys and myself for saving you from Kevin Owens. Heyman begrudgingly does so. And then it's revealed that those orders were given to us by the tribal chief. So then he thanks Solo. Then it's revealed by Paul Heyman that someone is looking for a piece of the Bloodline tonight, and it's Kevin Owens. So then Kevin Owens comes out. He starts brawling with every member of the Bloodline. Numbers catch up to him. Then out comes the Street Profits to make the save. Then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens has a chair, starts swinging at the Bloodline. They eventually roll out of the ring with KO and the Street Profits holding the ring. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting to see where this goes. Then we get one more shot of Cody Rhodes. He's back in the car park, cracking his knuckles, waiting for AJ Styles. Then we cut backstage. Paul Heyman is in the back. Then Solo grabs him by the neck. Pretty much says, "What the heck was that? You trying to leave? Tonight, you're going to go to Nick Aldis, make a 6-man tag with us. And if you don't, the main event is going to be you versus Tama Tonga." Threatening the wise man. Never thought I'd see the day. So, this story's going to be continued to be a little interesting. We'll see where it goes. Now, next is women's tag team action. Now, I don't think the titles were on the line, but the champions were involved as Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair took on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And just as the bell rings, out comes Alba Fire and Nyla Dawn. They're over by the announcer's table. And then Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark come down the ramp. So they're looking at this at ringside. This match was interesting because it was clear that LeRae was still a little banged up from her latest injury. But then Indy comes in like a house of fire. Tries to take down Bianca, who then gets the hot tag to Jade. It's a big old military press slam. Couple of super kicks. Only gets a 2 count. Gets a DDT suplex combination between the two of them to pick up the victory. And then post-match, Fire, Dawn, Baszler, and Stark come in, beat down Jade and Bianca. And then Baszler and Dawn, they pick up the 2 titles. Kind of hold it over, face off against each other. Then they brawl. Back in comes Cargill and Bianca. Cargill with an axe kick. Bianca with a spine buster. Then a Jaded and a KOD to end the segment. So, match itself was fine, I guess. Nice little, decent little TV match. The angle and the setup for this coming pay-per-view, that's what it's going to be. Anyway, so then we still get Cody. He's still waiting in the parking garage. Nick Aldis walks in. He says, look, I know how you're feeling. We all got played by AJ too. But it's not in our best interest for you two to fight out here. And then Cody Rhodes snaps back. You need to understand this. This is between myself and AJ. So then Nick Aldis walks off. That won't be the last time we see these two interact. And to see Cody this fired up, I'm going to say this, it's about damn time. Like, it's about time. Then we get an Apollo Crews interview. He says he's ready for Angel Garza tonight. But then Legado del Fantasma as a whole attack Crews from behind. Officials break it up. And that kind of ends the segment. No, that doesn't end the segment because Aldis comes in. He's checking on Apollo Crews. Then in comes LA Knight asking, where is he? Aldis reveals, Logan Paul, he's not here. LA Knight says, whoa, where could he be? Is he off playing Tetris? I'm really good at Tetris. I could. But then Carmelo Hayes comes in. Pretty much says, you're talking about someone who isn't here? Why don't we face off? And you talk about a match opening. And then Aldis overhears that, pretty much makes this match. As we got Carmelo Hayes versus LA Knight. And as much as I was looking forward to seeing Apollo Crews, that felt like a Velocity match, if you know what I mean. There was a show back in the day called Velocity. It was pretty much SmackDown's B show, where squash matches happen. So, yeah, I'm okay with this on-screen change. And, you know, I think this is why I like WWE more now, too. Instead of just, card subject to change, as an announced match gets changed, we get an on-screen reason for it. And that's great. That's awesome. We then go to our second match of the evening as it's Johnny Gargano taking on Grayson Waller. And these two, while not having as great a chemistry as Ciampa and Theory, these two provided a nice little matchup, nice little back and forth. With at one point, Waller is on the outside. He's talking with Theory. Gargano goes for a dive. Theory then pushes Waller out of the way, taking the brunt of the attack. Then Waller takes Gargano, pushes him right into the ring post, gets him back in, hits a jumping unprettier, I don't even know what to call this move, to pick up the win. Then you have Ciampa coming in, checking on Gargano, and then you see Waller celebrating, saying, yeah, I did this all on my own. Cuts to Austin Theory, who's just looking dejected yeah, we're heading for a breakup of A-Town Down Under once they lose the tag team titles. We then cut back one more time to Cody Rhodes, seething, waiting in the car park, ready to fight. Then Aldis comes in and he brings up extra security. He then reveals AJ Styles is on his way. The only reason these guys are here are for precautions, so nothing gets too out of hand. You need to be professional, alright? And as he says this, AJ Styles and the Good Brothers roll in on their car. They're taunting AJ Styles. Security is holding Cody Rhodes back. And then Cody Rhodes just walks it right into the arena with the camera following him, which is always going to be a great shot. He gets in the ring. He gets on the mic. He says, AJ Styles, you get out here now. We don't need security. Let's do this right here tonight. AJ and the Good Brothers come out, but then security runs past AJ and the Good Brothers to get in between them. Then AJ gets on the mic, says, look, you think I care what about what you want? Look at you. You want to fight me so bad. If you really want that fight, you're going to give me what I want. And I want the WWE title match at Clash in the Castle. Cody Rhodes gets back on the mic. He says, you want a shot at my title? You got it. But this isn't going to be a regular match. I'm going to make you say the words you should have said last week. I quit. So then Cody Rhodes tries to fight through security, but the numbers are too great. They're holding him back. AJ Styles then kind of cross bodies into the security and Cody Rhodes. And then AJ and the Good Brothers leave. I'm going to say this, an I Quit match between these two, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. And finally, Cody Rhodes' WWE title reign gets a story. It's great. It's awesome. It's exactly what he needed, especially against a really good talent like AJ Styles. I can't wait for that match. So then we cut to backstage. We're right outside Nick Aldis' office. Out come the women's tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And it's revealed at Clash at the Castle, it's going to be a triple threat tag match with Fire, Dawn, Baszler, and Zoe Stark against the champs. It's time we put these two teams down. So, triple threat tag. Definitely going to be interesting, and mostly Fire and Dawn are there because they're the Scottish representatives. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Should be an interesting matchup. Speaking of an interesting matchup, we then go to LA Knight, against HIM Carmelo Hayes. And while there wasn't much to this match, it was still really, really good. Both sides played their part really well, with Knight being the lovable babyface, and then Hayes, I guess, kind of playing heel, but he doesn't feel like a heel. Eventually, LA Knight hits the Megastar elbow, goes for the BFT that gets blocked. Hayes with a roll-up, only for a 2. Eventually, Knight gets into the roll-up to pick up the win. Then LA Knight picks up a microphone, says, Paul, if you're not coming to SmackDown next week, I'll bring SmackDown to you. So we're going to have another home invasion angle, which, sounds about right. Although I don't think we're going to see this at Clash. I think we're going to see this at SummerSlam, which I think is going to be the better venue for an LA Knight win. Then we see Tiffany Stratton backstage. She runs into Queen Nia Jax. And then Tiffany pretty much says to her, look, since you've won Queen of the Ring, You've obviously had a target on your back. So why don't I protect it? So it's going to be the queen and then the princess teaming up. Think about it. Tiffany then leaves. Mia Yim walks up. Gets right into Nia Jax's face. Nia says to her, Mia, do everyone a favor. Retire. Then Mia Yim just slaps the taste out of Nia Jax's mouth. They brawl for a bit, including Nia pushing Mia Yim over production equipment. Officials eventually come in and break it up. Next, we get a nice little Bayley promo. She's in the ring. Pretty much says, I saw the light at Clash at the Castle. I step into unfamiliar territory, facing Piper Niven for the very first time. And then before she can continue, out comes Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea Green starts out with the mic saying, there's a lot of big talk for a big old loser. You were a loser in Saudi Arabia. You were a loser last week. You have a loser friend in Naomi. And then you're going to lose to Niven when she finishes you at Clash at the Castle and becomes the new champ. Bayley retorts, I could have sworn I won in Saudi Arabia. And it's very clear, Piper doesn't need you. Piper, I have all the respect for you. And when I first saw you at the Mae Young Classic, that's a callback. Holy heck. I immediately loved what you did. And I know at Clash, it's going to be more than a title match for you. It means everything. I've been there before. But you could always have just asked for a title match. Then Piper Niven takes the microphone. It's definitely been rare to hear from Niven herself. But here's where it gets interesting. She says, next week it's going to be a lot of fun beating you. And I was advised you last week. Going to be saving the beatdown for Clash. But you know nothing about me. My journey started way before the Mae Young Classic in 2017. I've been climbing the indies in the UK since 2008. And while you were over here being a trailblazer, I was winning titles in every promotion in Europe. I've been a world champ before, stepping through this door, and nothing is stopping me from taking that title. Yeah, nice fired up promo from Piper Niven. I do agree with Bayley. She really doesn't need Chelsea Green. Even though I do really like the team. I think it's time for Piper Niven to stand on her own 2 feet. We then get a video promo from Logan Paul, the United States champion. Says, I heard through the grapevine the WWE megastar has been looking for me. Clearly, I ain't there because I need an actual challenge, not some walking catchphrase in a denim vest. Damn. So, you're going to come for me? Let's bring it on. Then we see Piper Niven and Chelsea Green backstage. They run into Naomi, who is talking to Nick Aldis. Naomi then turns to Chelsea Green and says, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Keep my name out your mouth. It's been a day for all of us. Nick Aldis then says, look, obviously there's no time for this today. So how about this? You two can go one-on-one next week, but only if you can keep your hands off each other for now. Clear? And then everyone agrees. So it looks like we're getting Chelsea Green versus Naomi next week. I believe they've had matches outside WWE. It's definitely been a while. But then we go to our main event, as it's a 6-man tag team match playa as the full force of the Bloodline. That's Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa take on Kevin Owens, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. And honestly, this was a really, really solid matchup. They definitely brawled a couple of times. But eventually, the Bloodline take out Ford and Dawkins. It looked like Solo was about to hit a Samoan Spike, decided against it, hit a spear instead to pick up the win. Actually, no, that's not how it happened. So Dawkins was in there. Ford dove to the outside. He's celebrating. Then in Solo, who has a chair shot. So DQ win for Kevin Owens and the Street Profits. But then, Bloodline then jump. Owens, Ford, and Dawkins. Owens tries to fight back, but the numbers are way too much. Then they hit Solo hits a spear instead of a Samoan Spike. They set up the announce table, hit a Shield powerbomb through it to end the show. As much as I'm a little disappointed they went the DQ win here, that finish angle was nuts. So, we'll see what this means for Solo and the Bloodline. So, that was WWE SmackDown. A show of definitely a bunch of ups and downs, but overall, I feel like it flowed really well, and everyone played their role really, really well. So, last but not least, we got AEW Rampage. When we start off with Penta El Zero Miedo taking on the Butcher of the Butcher and the Blade. It's definitely been a while since I've seen Butch. So, definitely good to see him here, and this was definitely an interesting match. It wasn't the normal, big versus little. It was the Luchador versus the Powerhouse. With Penta winning via the Fear Factor. So, definitely a bit predictable, but definitely an entertaining bout. Post-match, out comes Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree. They go to the announce desk and gives advice to Matt Menard about announcing. They leave. Brian Keith then says, "Put some respect on Chris Jericho." So, definitely was kind of hoping to be Jericho-less here, but I guess we can't escape the Jericho Vortex. Next matchup, we got the Acclaimed. That's, what are their names? Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. No Billy Gunn tagging with them. He's back to just being their manager. As they take on Hunter Gray and Havarts, I believe their names are. This was pretty much a squash match with Bowens hitting an AA, Caster hitting a mic drop to finish the match. I guess squash matches are okay. Hopefully this means they're building something for the Acclaim to do, which I hope would be to dethrone the Young Bucks. So next up, we got a promo from Shane Taylor Promotions, revealing Lee Moriarty's big win on Collision last week. Then Shane Taylor revealing, we're calling out the best of the best. Top Flight and Action Andretti, when they are healthy, they are the hardest tag team in wrestling. But now, I want to see Action Andretti go one-on-one with Anthony Ogogo. That match should be fun as hell. That should be a good, solid matchup. Speaking of a good, solid matchup, we got the Gates of Agony taking on Private Party. And I'm going to say this was definitely the better of the little versus big matches. Obviously, Gates of Agony, the powerhouses. But Private Party looking really good for the little guys, avoiding attacks, eventually getting in small stuff. Cassidy hits a 450. Then Mark Quinn hits a shooting star, but only for a 2. Eventually, Bishop Khan hits a big old sidewalk slam. Open the gates. Your winners, the Gates of Agony. So hopefully that means we're building the Gates of Agony as well. They are a solid tag team. Although I am really surprised Private Party took the loss here, but, we'll see. Then we get a nice little video package of Toni Storm versus Lady Frost, which happened on Collision. Sorry, not going to be reviewing that. We then get the Bang Bang Gang, which is their new names. No longer Bullet Club Gold, they're the Bang Bang Gang. But it's not who you think it is, as it's Austin and Colton Gunn teaming up with Juice Robinson, fresh off his return from injury. And they take on Caleb Crush, Chris Wilde, and Trevor A. AKA, big old squash match with Juice taking the lead. Hitting a big old cannonball. Juice is loose. Your winners, the Bang Bang Gang. Then Jay White gets in the ring. He has a microphone saying, nothing I love more than seeing my boys go to work. The gang is back together at full force. The sickest and the slickest. They never missed a beat. But Juice, I got something to announce here for you. You are now 1/4 of the World Trios Champions. So, each of them give him one of their belts, and he celebrates. So, this could mean one of a couple of things. One, Bang Bang Gang are going to freebird rule the trios titles, in which any combination could defend the titles, which would be fun. Or it means Juice is going to take the place of Jay White, and Jay White is going to go solo. Either one I think would be fantastic, and I think could really work. We then get our main event of the evening as Stardom's Mina Shirakawa takes on Serena Deeb. And honestly, this was low-key a Mac classic. This was a really, really good matchup. Really good back and forth, including Mina getting a nice looking figure 4 on Serena Deeb. Eventually Deeb gets in the ropes. Deeb goes for the detox. That gets blocked. Mina with a spinebuster slam or whatever it was. I'm not sure what that move was, but she picks up the win. Mariah May comes out to celebrate. They're all kind of all on each other. Then out comes Toni Storm. She's just stood on the ramp. Then May is calling her down. Eventually she does come down. She gets in the ring, has a stare down with Shirakawa. Looks like they're about to brawl. Then Mariah May comes in, just kind of squeezes them in her bosom. Mina then extends her hand to Toni Storm. They shake, kind of take their time to let go. and then they let each other out of the ring. So, yeah, definitely a very weird episode of Rampage. A lot of the wrestling was really good, but overall, I don't really know if we really need Rampage anymore. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I was very entertained by this show. And, yeah, definitely an interesting week to be turning into wrestling. And, yeah, definitely an interesting week to go. Because this week, we got TNA Against All Odds. And we got WWE Clash in the Castle from Scotland, of all places. That should definitely be an interesting show. Going to be doing predictions for that show on Wednesday. And then because I have a little doctor's appointment on Friday, I'm going to be moving up the review for Raw, Power, and Dynamite up to Thursday. So, doing stuff a little bit early. I hope y'all catch these videos. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.